Hey guys, Estefano here from the Doods. We have Kevin Zuniga here coming back from the PPG event over in Arizona. Take it off, Kevin.
All right, well, I went to the PPG Arizona event. I got first with Soul Striker reboot version, and first of all, for the store, it was super clean. All the hand sanitizers right there. One thing I will say is that more air filters because the ruin it gets a little musty, so I would suggest on that. But let's just get to the deck and see how everything works. Alright, so for the main deck, you obviously have your leader, Soul Striker, and Awaken, draw 2, attack, untap, draw. Really good leader, especially in this current meta when it's all about energy management. You got your D-Magics, this is just the basic stuff. You got your D-Magics, you got your Sensu Beans, you know, all standard stuff when it comes to blue. Then you got Hachiaxi Career. Hachiaxi Career saves me a lot of games because it just stops your opponent for that turn. And it's a 40k beat stick. Really good card. All you have to do is discard one. I think it's a must in all blue decks. Then we got 4 3-drop Unison Babies. This card helps you gain back advantage because the +2 is just draw a card, and then the -5 give your leader double strike and 15k, and you could activate counters for free by just discarding 2. And then I played one more Unison. I played the Gogeta. It was just the probability of me seeing another 3-drop Unison. That's why I ran this card, but still a really good Unison by itself because it's 20k dual attack, -1, return 2 cards your opponent controls back to the hand. And it's just a really good card. You could also catch your opponent off guard if you control Trunks, and it's in defense. You don't take any damage because of the Unison. And then next I have 4 Trunks. The Trunks, this card is just meant for everyone's playing cards that are higher than their energy, so this card helps a lot, especially with the Unisons, because the Unison is good for defense, going back to aggression. The deck is very proactive, so that's the main goal of the deck. And then you got 3 Trunks. I never had a problem playing just this is the perfect amount. I don't think you need to play 4. If you see it, you see it. If you don't, you don't. It's one of those situations. I don't feel like you need to play more. And then we got 3 5-drop babies. 5-drop baby is basically your counter of your cooler, but what's good about it is that you could negate any counter skills, play itself, and then all of a sudden you have a 30k triple striker that could bounce back a card, and then you draw 1 replacing itself, and your leader untaps also. So even if you don't use the Unison baby to discard 2 and do it for free, you are still left with 2 energy up and a 30k beat stick that your opponent would have to get rid of eventually. Then you have 3 Abunis. This card is mostly energy. It's not really meant for a lot because I don't run a lot of blue cards, but this is mostly energy. But when I do use it, I mostly use it either to kill my opponent's Unison, or I use it as combo power, or just to shuffle my opponent's deck, untap it additional energy. So that would be the only reason why you would even play Abuni. You could even swap it to another blue card that you like, but for me, I really like how Abuni gives you combo power, shuffles deck, gets you an energy, etc, etc. For your super combos, you got Vegeta. Vegeta is meant for filter. You're supposed to put cards back into your deck, draw 2, so you just filter your deck a lot. And then not only that, I'm a very greedy guy, so having a lot of cards in hand is very intimidating to your opponent. For example, you just your opponent has 6 cards in hand and they say, oh, I have 12. It's just wait, what? It's one of those situations oh, they must have this card, they must have it. How many cards in hand? And in reality, I don't have anything. So it really helps with the illusion that, okay, yeah, I do have it. 3 draw 2 apes. You could actually replace this card for the 3-drop extra card that lets you bounce a card, draw 2. just to help you with the ratios when it comes to blue. But this card overall, a lot of work. Combo 5, all of a sudden, pay 2, draw 2, and then your leader attack, untap those 2 energy. It's a very straightforward when it comes to these 2 cards. And then we have our Power Ranger engine. We have the 6-drop. The 6-drop does so much work. It brings aggro to the table when your opponent at least expects it. And it's dual attack, double strike, crit, 30k. So if you put a beam to the lower ones, it just becomes more powerful and it requires more combo power from your opponent. So this one has barrier, but the 5-drop, you'll notice, does not. So with the 5-drop, what you would like to do is that when you have your unison out, when you have all of your stuff out, what you need to do is that against green, obviously, you need the Trunks, the counterplay Frieza. Otherwise, this is going to go away. Make sure you have the card. And then we have 4-drop. 4-drop puts in a lot of work, actually, because of the auto pay and energy negate an attack. And it's just dual attack barrier. So this is one of the cards that have barrier for a very small package. It does a lot. And then we have the 1-drop. 1-drop, this one looks top 7. Grab another Castle Plesla or Power Ranger. And then lastly, the last card that I had was the Overwhelm. This card came in clutch a lot of times, gets rid of my opponent's board, additional attacker, 25k. And yeah, and that's it for the main deck. And then we have side deck. We got 2 Borgoses for the mirror match. The Borgos is just there for the mirror match, nothing really special about it. 2 Mafubas. This is meant for Sin, mirror match, and for and just for anything I feel like is too big, like for example Go Tanks, and they don't get their effects either. We got 2 Peel Off. This was meant for swap, so to take away the swap skill so they don't go into the 6. And it was just mostly main for that, but also for the mirror match. And then we got 2 Black Mass Saiyans. This is meant for Vegex, technically Red Broly, Sin, those kind of stuff. And then we also have 2 Krutikai, Red Baby, Blue, I want to say green as well. But overall, this was a good card. 2 of, I think, is kind of mandatory with that. 2 Meki Kubora. Call any card, and then all of a sudden your opponent can't play it. So this works against Go Tanks, etc., etc. And then you could also use the activate main to shuffle your deck if you feel like, oh, I'm getting bad draws, like you need something. And then 2 Max Power. This was also meant for Red Broly because this could either warp or protect you, and also against Sin to warp the 9-drop. Last card, we got 10-drop Fu. This was meant for Sin, not really meant for anything else, but it's still a good card if you want to replace the Overrealms and have your opponent not be able to do anything. So this is a really good card since they can't activate anything. And lastly, a must for this deck that you have to have is your tokens for Ubuni when you do play it. This is the tokens I use, the magic card tokens. So if you don't have any, get some or use something like it because it's funny. So yeah, overall, that's the whole deck.
All right, Kevin. Great deck profile. Seems like you know the deck like inside and out. Is there any shout outs you want to give?
I want to shout out to all the guys that I roomed with, Anthony, Armand, Steven, Zach. They all helped me out with the decks. Shout out to the dudes as well, Carlos for giving me the engine, Stefano for helping me out with the deck profile, and yeah, just to my fellow dudes. Shout out to the event itself also.
Any shout outs to those bad tokens that you had?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Tokens?
Shout out to Kevin for lending me the tokens. These are his tokens, but
exactly.
they're dope. They're dope tokens.
Buy them out. They're
For
like
real.
7 a pop. Let's go.
Oh, damn.
How was the event overall for you? Seeing how you just got the dudes their first win at, like, I don't want to say tier 1, but you know, the closest thing to tier 1 that we can get to at the current situation with COVID-19.
Overall, the event ran pretty smoothly. There wasn't a lot of problems during, not a lot of problems before, because we kind of started on time. There was like a repair at one point in the first round, but I think that was easily fixed. So overall, good event. Just air filters. Invest in air filters. That's the only thing I would say. It was musky in there. A lot of people, so you kind of need it. So yeah. All right. Thanks, dudes.